In today's video, we're going to be covering the pros and cons of streaming on Twitch or streaming on YouTube to hopefully help you figure out which platform is the best for you. Roll that intro. What's going on, guys? Chad here from How To Tech, the channel dedicated to helping you take your tech to the next level. And yes, we're going to be talking about pros and cons of YouTube and pros and cons of Twitch whenever it comes to streaming. I hope this video is going to help you figure out which platform may be the best for you. And I'm going to be looking off camera at a lot of the bullet points and notes that I've made and try to make this video somewhat condensed to not sit here and babble for 20 minutes about the pros and cons. But let's go ahead and get started with a very broad statement for both platforms and then kind of jump into why I believe this to be the way it is. So getting started first, Twitch is going to be better if you just plan on streaming. If that's all you plan on doing, Twitch is probably going to be the better platform for you. If you plan on streaming, but you also plan on having a focus in creating content, and we're not just talking about highlights that you upload, we're talking about curated content. Maybe you're doing a challenge or you're playing a video game and you're playing the campaign through and you want to upload that and you want to make decent curated content for YouTube, YouTube's going to be a better platform because your content that you create there can also go hand in hand with your streaming content and your viewers know immediately whenever you go live. And that's just really convenient. So now let's talk about all the little pros and cons of each platform and why I believe these two statements to be true. When it comes to Twitch, Twitch has better searchability for live streams. That's what the website is made for, and that's why it's going to be better for you if you plan on just streaming. YouTube, on the other hand, does not have great searchability for streams, and it's just not great. So that is definitely a con whenever it comes to Twitch or YouTube. Twitch is going to excel there. Another thing is these platforms are very different fundamentally with the community. Twitch, to get started with, is hard to push people to other platforms. It's a very isolated platform and community, but it's also tight-knit and you get a lot of good things, but you also find it more difficult to branch out into other avenues or other platforms. YouTube, on the other hand, it's easier to push people to those other platforms because YouTube is just kind of open. A lot of people that'll watch a YouTube video might go watch some other content of somebody else just because YouTube, in a sense, has almost become like TV and a TV channel, and people are more interested in checking out the other people's social media, and it's just kind of a better platform whenever you're trying to grow in more than just one place. Since Twitch is so isolated, I would recommend YouTube if you plan on, pursuing other platforms. A big con of Twitch is going to be that there are tons of people to compete with as a streamer. There are going to be tons, and I mean thousands of other people, especially if you're playing a saturated game, to compete with on Twitch. And those numbers definitely aren't going to help you grow whenever there's, 2,000 other people playing the exact same game as you or doing the same thing that you're doing on that platform. YouTube, on the other hand, while it has grown a lot recently, it's still nowhere near the same amount of people that you have to compete with. And if you throw that hand in hand with you also making content and whenever you go live, people getting notifications, it might be easier for you to bring in views right off the bat. So that is going to be a big positive for YouTube in that regard. And moving over to something else, we're going to talk about money for just a second because Twitch has definitely got YouTube in this category. Twitch is a lot easier of a platform to monetize because of the Twitch affiliate program. And while I'm not a big fan of exactly the ins and outs and how that works, it's still a positive for Twitch compared to something like YouTube because YouTube is a lot harder to get monetized on. There are very specific requirements and they're not easy, especially if you plan on streaming and trying to reach those goals. Keep that in mind, especially if you just plan on streaming. Getting to that point on YouTube is going to be very, very difficult. The last thing I have to say about Twitch and YouTube as a comparison of both of them is that there are tons of more features on Twitch for streamers and for the viewers. This is a big positive with keeping people engaged during your live stream. YouTube, on the other hand, has a lot less features for the streamers and viewers, and that is honestly a really big negative and why a lot of people are hesitant to switch from something like Twitch to YouTube, even if they are very big streamers. The last thing I want to cover is the inconsistencies with enforcement and policies from both platforms. If you know anything about streaming and you keep up with the big streamers, you'll know Twitch has been plagued over the last few years, and probably for a long time if you go back and look at it, of just being inconsistent in how they enforce their rules and their policies for their platform. YouTube has been honestly pretty much the same way, but I do have to say, YouTube has gotten quite a bit better over the last few years, and that's more relating and pertaining to video content, but I would assume that also goes as well with live streaming content. This is something to keep in mind, especially if you just plan on streaming, because at that point, your livelihood may be reliant upon that platform. And if a Twitch-like platform decides to cut you for whatever reason and not give you any reason behind that, you might be in a very tough situation. So yeah, guys, that's going to be all for this video. If you enjoyed, you know what to do. Go ahead and destroy that like button and get subscribed if you aren't already, and turn on notifications while you're there as well. If you want to support the channel financially, become a member today. We've got some really cool features. You get early access to videos, polls, and community member posts and stuff like that, and you get to interact with us a little bit more directly. And we really appreciate all of our members that are currently on the screen as I am currently talking. Thank you guys so much for watching. Also, if you haven't checked out our community Discord, it'll be linked down below. Check that out. We've got over a few thousand people over there, and you guys are awesome. It's a great place to promote your stream, YouTube videos, and stuff like that. But please do those in the appropriate channels so I don't have to ban you, because I hate doing it, but some of you go in there and spam, and I know who you are. I know who you are. But yeah, guys, that's going to be all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Chad from How To Tech, helping you take your tech to the next level, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.